Okay, we are here in the 7-minute Shabbat class after Arvit, and we are starting the time right now. Okay, so the last time we spoke that you have to spend on Shabbat, and the expenses that you spend on Shabbat and Yom Tov, Hashem is going to return to you. What did we say? Mizanotav shel Adam come from Tishrei to Tishrei, chutz me Tishrei, that from the month of Tishrei until Tishrei, but not the month of Tishrei. What was that? We said Tishrei is Rashi Tevot, Talmud Torah, that whatever you spend on Talmud Torah for your children, Hashem is going to return to you. What else? Shabbat. Whatever you spend on Rosh Chodesh and on Yom Tov, Hashem is going to return to you. So it says from Tishrei to Tishrei, Hashem gives you whatever is your spending. But if you spend on those four things, Hashem is going to return, and that's going to be on Shabbat. Next thing, if someone does not have money, he can take a loan, even with interest, in order to buy food for Shabbat. It's very interesting. Brought down here in Rabbi Nachman's book. Next thing, it's proper to have meat.
Borrow money without interest? Are you saying from a Jew?
No, he's saying that it's asur to take with interest from a Jew. Asur. But here he's telling you that it would be allowed, the Rabbanan, and he gave a few exceptions on it. Now, furthermore, and it's proper to honor by having meat and wine on the holiday, and on Shabbat specifically. Now, what's important is that if you don't like meat, there's no mitzvah to have meat on Shabbat. It's very important to know this. The Gemara tells us that there were some rabbis who used to fast during the week. They like to fast on Shabbat. He didn't have anything. So it's very important that if you don't like meat, you don't like chicken, don't have it. If you're a guy who loves fish, go for it. You guy likes meat and wine, go for it. Whatever speaks to you as awning, do it on Shabbat. You're not required to do anything further. That's only Yom Tov, but we're going to get to it. All the questions after, because we only have 7 minutes. Next thing, there's a custom to taste the food before Shabbat. And it says that whoever tastes the food, it's a segula brought down to get long life. Why? Because the pasuk says, To'amea chayim zachu. To'amea is the tasting. Hayim, life, there will be zoche. So what's a good thing you can taste? Now, when you taste that food, if you're doing just for tasting, you're having a small part, you do not need to make a beracha. Let's say you want to take a little taste of the hamin or of the soup, you don't have to make a beracha on it. If you're going to have 3 ounces, you have to make a beracha. If you're going to have a full piece, you have to make mizonot on it. But I recommend everyone always make the thing.
Can I with the story of Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshitz?
Yeah, okay.
Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshitz.
Yeah. I had to stop the clock because it's only 7 minutes. But okay, I stopped.
One time he came home and he wanted to eat from the food of Shabbat, right? So his mom doesn't see. Boom, he take a piece from the food. And I'm, hey, Yonatan!
I'm still doing that till today. I still do it till now.
So he told her, Ima, To'amea Chaim Zachu. It's a mitzvah. He says it's mitzvah, but you took a big piece, not a To'amea. He says, yeah, To'amea Chaim Zachu, ve'ahavim devareya, gedolah bacharu. Those who love Shabbat, they take gedolah.
Gedolah bacharu. I love it. All right, from Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshitz, we continue. All right, ready? We go back to the clock. Go right ahead, 5 minutes, 11 seconds. All right, when Asara B'Tevet falls out on Friday, which is the only fast that can fall out on Friday, Asara B'Tevet, the other minor fast will not fall out on there, you can taste the food and spit it out. Let's say right before the holiday you want to taste it. Why? Because what kind of food is going to be on Shabbat? If you went into the Shabbat, you didn't taste it, you didn't prepare it, you need a little more salt and a little bit more pepper. So he does, you can taste it and spit it right back out. That's on the fast day, but don't swallow it. He says next thing, one could even taste the meat and the chicken on Erev Shabbat Hazon, where you cannot have meat during the 9 days. You can have it. Before that, you can take a little taste of the meat. It is allowed. Okay, you're allowed to have taste of the food before Shabbat, but you should not eat the majority of the food. You shouldn't be left with a little portion on Shabbat because the guy was very hungry. And we spoke about earlier how a person should go into Shabbat fasting. I don't mean fasting the whole day, but from at least Hatzot time, stop eating. Don't have any meals. Stop with the mizonot, because if you're going to start to get hungry as the day goes by, and if you're going to fill yourself up, now you go into the Shabbat, you have no appetite. So what do? I normally will have something light in the morning. I have a bunch of teas, maybe a coffee, drinks, and I start to avoid. As the Hatzot comes, I start to stop eating anything. Even if I'm allowed to have some mizonot or some other small stuff, I stop because I know myself that everyone has to know themselves. They have to see if they have another meal in the middle at 3 o'clock. Now it comes Friday night, he's not in the mood to eat. He comes on the Shabbat table, and you took away the onig. The onig is to enjoy it, and you're not supposed to do that. Next thing, brought down. On Shabbat, it's a custom before Shabbat to make dough, to make challah. If one of your wives are going to make, or even yourself, men can make challah too. If you do 1.56 kilograms of it, you'll have to do hafrashat with the beracha, shekidushan, the aflish challah teruma that you have to do. Now, the challah, what do we do with the leftover piece? It could be a small piece, it doesn't have to be a big piece, and we burn it. We don't give it to any kohanim today. But back in the day, you used to have to give it to a kohen. Okay, so let's say someone's busy, he knows I'm going to be super busy on Friday. Can you make challah on Thursday? Yeah, you can make challah on Thursday, or even make the challah on Friday and do your other baking on Thursday. That way you have the fresh bread. Now, let's say a person is going to only make 1 or 2 loaves of bread, so he doesn't make the portion of 1.56 kilo of the amount that's needed for hafrashat challah with the beracha. So what does he do in that case? He recommends here in the book that make a lot of challahs and freeze them. That way you make the beracha on it for that week, and it's good. My wife does it. She's taken out frozen challahs and warmed them. They taste great. They're a week too old. It's not a big deal. Okay, and he mentions, okay, better to make a lot of challah with it, and you can freeze the remaining. Now, it's important. If a person during the week eats Aladdin pita, he likes to eat the kosher but not Jewish-owned bakery. It's called pat akum. It's pat from the other people that are not Jewish. On Shabbat, make it your business to eat pat Yisrael. At least once a week you can do it, even if it's allowed to eat parakum during the week, at least on Shabbat. Upgrade yourself to do it. Next thing, the Chachamim instituted that person should wash his laundry on Thursday. That way you go into the day of Shabbat with your stuff ready. It was actually Takanav Izrah HaSofer. He said you're not allowed to do washing at all on Friday, but that was when it was manual labor. Today, with all washing machines and things like that, it is permitted to do it on Friday. Now, even when someone's washing by hand, if he has no other clothing, let's say he's stuck, he's a single, he's a bachelor, he's got 1 or 2 white shirts. He doesn't wear white shirts during the week, and he only got 2 left. You can wash even by hand on Friday if he has no other clothing that he can wear. Now, suits or pants, if they don't get dirty, you don't have to wash them every Shabbat. I wear suits sometimes, they stay clean for 1 or 2 wears. It's okay, you don't have to send it to the cleaner every week. In fact, sending it to the cleaner every week no, but it's especially sending the stuff to the cleaners actually damages your suits. I don't know, some people, they like custom suits. I bought a couple of custom suits. If you wash them every week, it ruins them. So you want to make sure, and there's no halakha to have to wash them every week if it doesn't get dirty. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds. It is a mitzvah to clean the floor before Shabbat. Special mitzvah for cleaning the floor. You come in, the floor is clean and nice. If your wife is busy, help her, broom, mop, do something, give jobs. I know Baruch Hashem with the kids in the house, if you don't give them jobs, they don't do anything. So what you do is you designate people and give them jobs. Your job is to do this, your job is to do that. We have 1 minute left. Let's look on the next custom. It's brought down, this is from the Kabbalah and from the Halakha, that you should go make it your business to dust and remove spider webs from the house. It's brought down, I found in one of the Sfarim that it says that spider webs, the spiders, they seemingly do some form of like a tefillah, but having the spider webs, it causes mahloket if you leave it on Shabbat in the house. That's why I found it.
In the house or around the house?
No, in the house. In the house. I'm talking about in the house. I'm not talking about outside the house. I'm talking in the house. It says that the spiders, when you don't remove the spider webs, they almost take a type of, I don't mean ownership, but the Chamim were saying like they take, like it's their home, and it causes mahlokot in the house. I don't know why. That's why I found in one of the Sfarim when I was researching the topic. So it says, what's a good thing to do? Get rid of the spider webs. It takes a couple of minutes. It's easy to do. If you do it once, they're not going to grow. If every week you clean them, they're not going to happen. But it says specifically for that. Next thing, one should polish silverware. You should set the beds and table and other items and timers. Even if you're just you and your wife or alone in the house, you're a single bachelor, set it up. That way you come home on Friday night, the place looks hadid. It looks all set up and nice. You don't want to come to the house, the whole place is upside down. We have 5 seconds left. According to the Kabbalah, the women should set the table on Shabbat. A man should help with other things, but it was brought down specifically that should be done by the women. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.